And start it. Again, thank you all for coming and good afternoon. I'm so glad you joined us for this Tejano virtual event. Today we have a great presentation for you. Before I announce what our presentation is today, I wanted to let you know that remember that by attending these events, you do get Tejano Passport points and you get to learn about all of the great services available to you here at EPCC. And I will tell you more about this after the presentation today, and I'll be providing links to it in the chat so that you can learn more after the presentation. But now for our event. Today we have the pleasure of having Ms. Arvis Jones, who is the Director of Student Leadership and Campus Life here at EPCC. She'll be giving us a great presentation on all the services they provide for all of us. So Ms. Jones, whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're going to have to bear with me because it was my understanding that the presentation was going to be through Teams. So I learned there how to share the PowerPoint, and I don't have the PowerPoint up now to share. So I need to figure that out. If you give me just a moment. If not, I'll come back to you, Miss Christine, for you to do it. Give me just a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I have it up on the screen and I'll go ahead and start the presentation when you're ready, Ms. Jones.
Okay, sorry about that delay. I'm having some technical difficulty here, me and my secretary. It's your fault.
It's not my fault. You said to me.
Anyway, Sorry about that. I had it set up for Teams and I was sadly mistaken. With that being said, let me go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for joining us or joining me this afternoon so I can tell you a little bit about student leadership in campus life. For those of you who may have seen the last presentation that Marliv did, we're going to be doing the same thing right now, and hopefully I'll add a little bit more than what she did. Next slide. Okay, within the Department of Student Leadership and Campus Life, you'll know that we have a number of different areas within that are underneath my purview, which is the Student Government Association, clubs and organizations, Intramural Sports, the Leader B1 Conference, the Ambassador Program, student unions, the Veterans Resource Center, and Campus Life. We will go through each one of them, and I'll touch a little bit upon each one of those areas and what they're responsible for doing. Next. Okay. So we have what's called our Student Government Association. Go ahead and click. I think other things should show up. Okay. The Student Government Association is the official body that represents the student voice here at El Paso Community College. If by chance you have any students that are in your classes or that you associate with, please encourage them to join the Student Government Association. Within student government, they do a number of different activities. With the last one of the biggest advocacy projects was the no smoking on campus. Okay, and so that was a 10-year project that they worked on in order to represent the student body and the student concerns that we had on campus. Go ahead and click next. There's a couple of them, please. Okay. Okay. So again, they are the student's voice, and also they advocate for students' rights. So students come to us for various things. Right now we have a student that's within our Center for Students with Disabilities that's coming to us who would like for us to advocate for them to get books on campus, audible books, and more than what we have currently within our Center for Students with Disabilities. So there's various things that we look at when we're talking about them representing the voice for students here at EPCC. Next. Well, thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Okay, what we will gain when they join from student government is, as I said, they speak on various student issues that affect the students and the college family, but the college family of students. They work on special projects and they have student initiatives. So another big initiative that they had was student unions on each and every campus. Now you'll see that we have student union at Valle Verde and we have one at Trans Mountain. The next campus that they're going to be working on is the Mission campus. It takes a little bit of time, and it takes them about 4 to 5 years to collect enough money in order to build a student union. But that's exactly one of the things that they're advocating for right now and will continue to do. They also develop leadership skills. There's various conferences that I take them on that will allow them to develop their leadership skills and be able to take that into the clubs and organizations that they may belong to outside of student government. Okay. I generally try to take them to a conference in Texas and also one outside of the state of Texas so that they have an opportunity to see other student governments in other states and things that they may be doing. And then the students also receive a stipend. So the SGA president will receive $750 a semester, and the others will receive different amounts all the way down to $300 if they're senators. The Student Government Association also awards 20 scholarships a year in the amount of $750 for each scholarship. They also support various staff members within my department area. So they support the student unions. They pay 100% of the cost for student unions, the Intramural Sports staff in our gyms. They also have supported our Veterans Resource Center and various things that we have here on campus. Okay, next slide, please. A big project that they had a couple of years ago was the opening of our Tejano food pantry, and many of you should be familiar with that. The pantry is open to all students, staff, and faculty, but primarily our students. And it is stocked by you, our faculty, giving projects and extra credit to your students in your classes. So it's very fortunate for us that the student government has not had to go out and buy a lot of different items to stock our pantry because you as the faculty and students are the ones that keep our pantry stocked. The pantry, the process is that all they would need to do is fill out a request form, and that request form is online, and it collects information on it. But one of the things that we primarily look at is to ensure that when they select their food items, that we're not giving them anything that they might be allergic to or anything like that. But not only do we provide food for the student, when they complete the request form on there and ask how many members are in their household and so forth, we also give them enough boxes that will feed their household as well. Okay, so that's nice. We rotate the food out in case there's any questions about that. We do rotate the food out. Any expired food goes to El Paso Fighting Hunger because technically we can give out expired food 2 years after expiration date, but we don't do that here. Instead, we give it to El Paso Fighting Hunger and we allow them to distribute those items. So we do rotate the food, make sure that we're not giving out any expired items, and then without El Paso Fighting Hunger handle the rest of that. We do serve all campuses. Although the food pantry is housed here at the Valladolid campus, the physical location, students can request food from all the various campuses and come to Valladolid and pick it up. If for some reason, a viable reason that they cannot get here, then we will deliver the food to the respective campus. And we have also delivered food to a student's home before. I've done that a couple of times when they technically could not get here, especially during the pandemic. Okay. Another project that we had was the Tejanos Against Tobacco, where we became a smoke-free, tobacco-free campus last year. And so we're waiting on the finalization of that policy, even though it was approved by the board, but we're still going to get all that done. Support by the American Cancer Society and Smoke Free El Paso. So that was a really big project that they had that took us over 10 years to actually finally get approved. And then the other initiative they have is the Student Voter Initiative. And this year, we're trying to register 1,000 students to vote between now and the end of the academic year. Next slide. Students who want to join the Student Government Association will fill out a packet of information that we have online that they can pull up and fill out and send it in. Officers have to have a 3.0 GPA and senators a 2.5. Our officers are our president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, parliamentarian, and historian. And then we have 4 senators that can represent each one of our campuses. Okay? They do have to complete a minimum of 20 hours a month in their respective positions in order for them to receive a stipend at the end of the month. So if you know anybody, by all means, have them come join us in student government. Okay? Next slide is our clubs and organizations. Next. Okay. So currently we are in the process of recognizing all of our new clubs and so forth that are on campus. Every year we have generally between 45 to 50 clubs on campus. And of course during the pandemic that hurt our clubs a lot, so we reduced down to about 20 some odd clubs. But right now we're back up in the 30 to 40, not percent, but numbers of clubs that we have on campus. Their last day to be recognized as a student club and organization is today, so they're getting all those packets into us right now. The next slide will show you a number of clubs that we do have here on campus. And the requirements, if anybody wants to be part of a club, they can join the clubs that are existing, or they can create a club. And in order to do so, they have to have a minimum of 5 students and a full-time faculty advisor if they're interested in joining a club. So you see we have various ones from community service clubs to sporting clubs to community service clubs or clubs that belong to the particular departments. Okay, next slide please. So why do we want students to join clubs? Of course they get to meet people that have the same interest, that they are interested in. They have an opportunity to network and to socialize, develop leadership skills, and they also gain new experiences. So I have students that come in and faculty members that come in often asking, we would like to create a new club. What do we need to do? And can I do this? So if you're a faculty member and you are interested in creating a club, we have anything and everything if you would like. And all you'd have to do is develop a constitution, and again, making sure that you're a full-time faculty member. And then we go from there, okay? And to visit, you see there's a phone number there. Raina is our new staff member that works in that area, very much on top of what needs to be done. And you can always give her a call at that phone number. Next. So to create a club, as I said, you have to have a minimum of 5 people, a full-time faculty member as the advisor, and you have to submit the club packet. And this club packet consists of those who want to be a member, but also the Constitution. The Constitution is developed by your students as to what you want the tenets of your organization to be. And you just send that through to me for approval as well. And we give you samples of what the Constitutions can say and so forth. And then you just go from there. Pretty easy, actually. We start each club with $300, so that if you want to do any fundraising, you already have monies in an account that you can already use. If you believe that you've had a club that's been in existence before, then by all means, just give us a phone call, and then we can let you know if that club exists already. Sometimes there may be existing funds in an account already that has gone dormant for a number of years, and the club, just has not been active. So if you're interested in creating one, by all means, give us a call. We'll help you out. The next slide. The next slide is our student ambassadors. And our student ambassadors are another group of students who have to put in 70 hours within the semester of work on campus or in the community, and they talk about El Paso Community College and or do work on our campuses. Okay, click, next, keep going. Okay, and so, as I said, they have to do 70 hours worth of work, and they receive 6 semester hours of credit, whether they're in-state or out-of-state, or international students will pay for 6 semester hours of tuition for them. Again, the basic requirements are listed here. They have to have completed 12 semester hours, be enrolled in 6 hours, credit hours, have a 2.7 GPA, and be committed to both fall and spring. And the reason that we ask for that is they will complete their 70 hours in the fall, then we award the money in the spring, and then that pays for their spring tuition. And then in the spring, they will complete their 70 hours, and then they can use their spring monies for either summer tuition or fall tuition. Okay, we are looking for someone that is outgoing and they have positive, personalities, and they have a good work ethic, and they're really interested in representing El Paso Community College and or working in the various departments that we have on campus that may request them. And here are just some photos in the next one of students that were in our Student Government Association. They volunteer for the Chopin Conference. The picture that you see on my lower right is I actually took them out on a trip, and I took them to the cliff dwellings and so forth, and City of Rock, so they get out and they see other things that are out there. It's an opportunity for them to see other things within the El Paso and the surrounding area. Next slide is our Leader B1 conference. Okay. Next. Okay, so this is the student leadership conference that we have every November. We have one coming up soon, that will work with our students in our clubs and also the student body to become leaders on our campuses. It's a 2-day conference, set up a little differently this year because of COVID, but still they have an opportunity to come in. We will have a guest speaker that will come in the first day, and then we have faculty that teach workshops on the next day, and then our students will go into each one of those workshops on a rotating basis. This year, we normally have all 100 students come in at one time, and it's going to be different. We're going to have 50 in the morning from 9 to 12, and another 50 afternoon from 1 to 4, spread out in our auditorium, and that's on a Friday. Then they return on Saturday, and then they go to the different workshops that we have available to them. Again, half in the morning and the other half in the afternoon. They do receive a lot of swag when they go. That's going to represent the different things that we do. opportunity for them to network, develop their leadership skills. It's free to the EPCC students. Again, it's Friday, Saturday, and it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. But it's a great opportunity. We have a lot of fun. Most students that have gone there, we get really good reviews on the conferences, and the workshops that we have that are presented by our faculty are very good workshops as well. So once again, encourage your students to come and attend. The applications will be online underneath the student website, Student Leadership Campus Life area on our website. The next slide are the student unions that we have on our campuses. And we have two, one at Trans Mountain and one here at Valle Verde. Trans Mountain being the newest student union that we have. The student unions, again, as I said a little bit earlier, were built by our Student Government Association, paid fully by the Student Government Association, the fees that they pay. It is not institutionally funded, and so when people want to know where student government's money goes, this is one of the areas where their monies go. They paid for the construction of it, they paid for all the equipment and so forth that's inside, the furniture, everything. They're in the process now of replacing the furniture in our Valle Verde Student Union because it's been there now for the last 10 years and furniture is beginning to look a little tattered there. But we're going to show you a small little video on the student union and then we'll come back. And that video most of it was when we opened up the Trans Mountain Student Unions. You saw them walking through. But each one of the unions, have rooms for games. And if you go to the next slide, it'll tell you the things that we have there, we have pool there, we have air hockey, foosball tables, video game, cards, shuffleboard. We have meeting spaces that are on the campus. We do a movie series there where we would show various movies in the different rooms here, especially at Valle Verde in our Traffinstead room, where we show movies for the students to come and see, and we rent those movies from the appropriate agencies so that students have an opportunity to attend a movie series that we have here. Each one of our student unions, if you go in them, they have names either on the walls or on the different columns. And each one of those names represent a student government president that we went through before that union was completely built. So for example, the Valle Verde Student Union has 5 names up on the wall. It took us 5 years to build out. The Trans Mountain campus has 4 presidents' names up. It took us 4 years to get that one built. And now we're working on the Mission one. So we'll have a few names on Mission because with the pandemic being in place, we've really been delayed on what we wanted to do there. But if you have an opportunity, go through and look at it. It is for students. It's not for staff and faculty, and oftentimes staff and faculty want to go, but it's for the students. So sorry. So unless you enrolled for a class and you are actually a student, that's the only way you'll get into the student union. Okay, next slide, please. Is our Intramural Sports program. And so our Intramural Sports program is there so that we can have other activities that are on campus for our students that may not be involved in intercollegiate sports. But you'll see we have a weight room that's at Valle Verde. We have a wilderness program where our students go hiking and camping, and outdoor programs. What we have, as a matter of fact, they're going camping this weekend. And then we have the indoor sports, a little bit more limited right now because of COVID, but generally we'll have like the indoor soccer, the bench press, the fitness challenge, flag football, volleyball, basketball, our indoor soccer league, which is our most fun one. I see we have it in there twice. I'll have to correct that. And then also we do CrossFit and various activities. If there was something that you all wanted to have on campus, then we can also do that. Our Intramural Sports program will do that as well. Okay. And then we have runs, like we just did the 9/11 run not too long ago, to honor 9/11. And as a matter of fact, if you all saw the flags at the Valle Verde campus, the student government and the campus life are the ones that put out the 3,000 plus flags out there, and Intramural Sports to honor those who lost their lives during 9/11. But you'll see there's various activities. You'll see we've taken them horseback riding, and we pay for all of that. And when I say we, I mean the Student Government Association, because they also support the Intramural Sports program, as well as the other programs that I showed you prior to this. Okay, next. Okay. Our Veterans Resource Center. One of the things I wanted to do before I left here was to make sure, before I retire in the near future, was to ensure that we had a Veterans Resource Center for our veterans on campus. Because our veterans, and if any of you are veterans, you know there's special places and special things for you. And that's one of the things that I want to create with the Veterans Resource Center, which will allow you to come together with like people. Okay? In our Veterans Resource Center, we help students with their Go Army if they have any questions about that, with their GI Bill processing, their Hazelwood benefits, to get their GST transcripts, which is, the transcripts of everything they've done in the military and any civilian schooling they've had. And we serve with on-campus and off-campus resources. If they need anything out in the community, we're available to them and refer them to where they may need to go. We also have a book lending program, which we have all the freshman level books that veterans can come and check out. And then we have a laptop program, but we also have over there computers that they can use, and just a quiet room if they need to go into a quiet room because they're having some issues. We have all of those things there as well. Next. No, go back. It should still be the campus life where it shows some photos. Back. Go back. One more. Okay. So you'll see that we have the lounge area there where they can come in, they can get snacks from there if they want to, and they can sit, they can watch TV. We have 2 TVs in there as well. There's the front desk with all the flags for the different branches. We have the quiet room where they can go, not for the purposes of studying, but if they're experiencing any anxiety, they can go in there and they can calm down. And then we have computers that are available for them to use. And then we have offices there, because the goal is eventually to get a designated counselor that will work with them from beginning to the end and do case management with the veteran to ensure they graduate all the way through employment. Next. And then we have campus life. So campus life is the one everybody thinks is the fun department. It's the department where we arrange and do a number of different activities for our students on campus, from events to checking out of games, and also, of course, our student ID card that we issue. When we look at events, the next slide. Okay. You'll see a listing of different things that we do, not all inclusive at all, but various activities that we've held on campus. Some things are we do every year, like Jazz at Sunset, the Creative Kitty Corner, and the Ghost Tours, which is coming up pretty soon. We just completed the Jazz at Sunset, but various activities that we have that are for the college community, and then also for the community at large, where they can come in and do different things at El Paso Community College. But we have a lot of support from the community if we're going to do our health fairs or our vendor fairs, where we bring different businesses and so forth to come in on campus and present things to our students. Okay. And then it tells you there where you can go on the website. These are some photos of some different activities that we've done on campus. Our spring fashion show, we would do that every year, and then we would donate the money to an organization in town that we would, the funds that we would raise, and then they would donate to a particular entity. The Halloween costume contest, Valentine's Day, alcohol awareness, one of the things that we try to do, especially before spring, is to show something in regards to alcohol awareness. Stand Up, Speak Out against domestic violence, the Fall Fiesta Club there, Pride, Tejano Roundup, and that's what we're going to be doing in the spring. We're going to join that up with Creative Kitty Corner. The Jazz at Sunset, the Resource Fair, the Talent, and the 9/11 Walk. And that's just some of the photos of some of the things that we have done. What we're looking at trying to do now is to create a large event in the spring with our Creative Kitty Corner, because many of you will remember that we have Fall Festival, of which we're not going to do any longer. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're actually not going to do Fall Festival anymore, mainly because if you remember a couple of years ago, there was a number of accidents at the churches where people lost their lives with the carnival rides. So as a result of that, we cannot get carnival rides any longer, and that was one of the big mainstays at the Fall Festival. And that's because the insurance is too high for them to have, and it's a requirement through our purchasing department that we have the insurance. So we're going to be moving to a larger event in the fall. We just haven't decided what that's going to be. And right now we're working on enlarging the Creative Kitty Corner in the spring. And a lot of that really depends upon COVID and what's going to happen with that as to how many people we can bring on campus and things like that. But those are some of the events we have. We work with a lot of staff and faculty on the events that we do have. So as faculty, if there's any events that you would like to have and you would like us to help you with them, by all means let us know. And then sometimes funds would be available to help with those as well. One of the big things, like I said, with student government is that we're going to be doing the big initiation drive to register 1,000 students. And so we're going to want to be coming into your classes and in your classrooms to register the students, because my staff has been deputized, and now the new SGA that's on board will also be deputized so that we can register people to vote. Next slide. Game checkout, or just as it says, there's different things that students can come and check out the equipment, and they have an opportunity to play with them here on campus. They can play pool, foosball, ping pong, and board games and things like that. Next. And one of the main things that we do within campus life itself is the issuance of the student ID card. And they can go to info right now only by Yvette and the Trans Mountain campus, because we're waiting for the new installation of all of our equipment that we purchased in the summer. So we're waiting for IT to come in and do the installation. Once they do that, then we'll be up and running at all of our campuses right now. Our equipment has been around for the last 16 years, and you can imagine how antiquated it is. And so most of it is not working any longer. So we finally got new equipment, but now we're in the queue for it to be installed. Once it is installed, then those of you that are in the other campuses besides Miami and Trans Mountain will have you up and running, we hope, by the end of this semester. Okay. The ID card doesn't cost anything for them to get it unless they've lost it. If they have, then they have to pay a $5 fee to get a new one. Okay. And do they have to have, next one more, they don't have to have a new ID every semester, but they do have to have it updated every semester. So we'll put a new sticker on it for when they do get it updated, as long as they're enrolled. Next. So the last thing in here is just some of the upcoming events that we're going to be having for the fall semester. So you'll see that we have activities that are going on in October, November, and December. And they range anywhere. What's coming up soon in November actually is the Indigenous People celebration. So we'll have a big event going on for that. Breast cancer awareness. A lot of the stuff may be on campus or online virtually, but we'll have clubs and orgs challenge. We'll have a fair that's going to be going on. Fitness competition. Those are things that we are doing, in October. And this list of things that Campus Life is doing, what our Veterans Resource Center may be doing, and also what our Veterans Lounge will be doing. In November, we have activities from Dia de los Muertos. During that particular celebration, we are going to be honoring Raul Hernandez, who was the employee that passed away in our department. So we're going to be doing a big celebration for him. But we have Fun Fridays. We're doing like Tejanos Against Homelessness and Hunger, and in reference to food insecurities that we have on our campuses. We're going to have a faculty and staff game in November as well. So look out for information coming out about that. Hopefully you'll want to participate. And then in December, we're going to be doing a door decorating contest and various things like that. Okay. Next slide. It just brought the items up. Okay, so you'll see that we have offices at each campus. These are the campus locations and the campus phone numbers. And as I said, right now our two campuses that are up are Trans Mountain and Valle Verde. So the other campuses are closed at this point in time. But that concludes my presentation. Do you all have any questions for me?
I do have a question, Ms. Jones. If someone is interested in donating to the Tejano Food Pantry, how would they go about doing that?
They can bring depends on what campus you're at. So if you're at Valle Verde, of course you're going to bring the items to the food pantry. If you're at Trans Mountain or any of the other campuses, you'll take it to the Campus Life offices. Now, realizing that they're closed at other campuses, if you were to hold it in your office, then we can pick it up if you can't deliver it here.
Do you all have a list? Is there a list on your website, or?
I can have a list emailed out to you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great,
Yes.
great.
There was a question, I just lost it and I don't want to log out. So there was a question. Can you read it to me?
Yes. Do you have petitions when you advocate? If so, can we sign digitally?
Excuse me. We do have petitions. Signing digitally, we have not done. We bring the petitions to each one of the campuses, and then we can have the campus reps also have them on their desk, and people can come in and sign them.
Okay, great. And I know a lot of the libraries have registered. Go ahead.
I was going to say, was there a petition that you were interested in or something that you wanted to know about? Or are you asking if there's an existing petition?
Oh, the advocacy for the audiobooks.
Yes, there is going to be a petition about that. The student that is bringing it forth plans on doing a petition. When that petition is out, we will have it out at the Campus Life offices. What campus are you at? Trans Mountain? Wonderful. When we get it out, I'll make sure that Robin Kitchen, who's currently representing over at that campus, will have a petition for you all to sign over there.
Great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And then I have a question. It's not so much of a question as we'd love to help you at the libraries. I know we have a lot of librarians who are registered as deputy registrars to vote as well. So we'd love to help you if possible.
Okay, that's even better. So would you be reaching out to the students that are coming into your library?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll pass that on to all the head librarians, that anyone who is a deputy registrar, we can maybe put out some signage to let them know they could register to vote in the libraries as well.
Okay, and then give us those numbers so that we can add them into our accounts. That would be fantastic.
Perfect. Great.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Somebody put another comment in the box.
Yes, it says, if it was to pass, would it be federally funded since this petition is directly related to a disability and not be subject to fundraising?
That I can't answer for you. What we're trying to do is when we're looking for the audio books and so forth, is either to have the bookstore work with the vendors, to see if we can get them and have them placed in CSDs. Ideally, what I would like to see is if we can get all the freshman level book audios. But the concern that the student had was that there are a number of books that are audio, however, they're not time stamped. And so therefore they have to listen to the entire book when they may want to go to chapter 5. And they can't do that. So that was one of the biggest concerns he had. And he talked about the format in which they were in. So a lot of that I do not understand because I don't work with audiobooks, but we're going to be setting up a meeting with the director at CSD to see what we can do to work on this and what avenues we need to take. I hope
Are
that
there any
helped.
other? It does. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? This is an awesome presentation. I really learned a lot. That's what they're saying, that you're awesome and they're grateful for all your programs, and we are. We thank you for everything you're doing for all of the
Well, thank you
students.
so much. It's really hard engaging students right now since COVID. So if you can encourage, when you see flyers out and things like that, encourage your students to come. I would really appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. And we'll be more than happy to post them for you as well. So let us,
Okay.
everyone, know what we can do to help. So again,
I
thank you
sure will.
again. Thank you. Thank you again for
Thank you.
coming. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Well, it's a person saying they're part of the forensics and debate and they love it.
Wonderful. Yay. Okay. Thank you all. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
You too. And we thank everyone for coming as well. Remember, you can get your Tejano passport points. I'm going to go ahead and put up a flyer to remind you how you can do that. Here's a Tejano passport poster that's going to be showing on your screen. And I will go ahead and put it in the chat as well. So again, you can go and register for points with the Tejano passport. And what they will do is earn points towards a medallion. So that way you'll be able to earn a medallion just by attending events such as these Tejano virtual events, as well as other events around the campuses. You can get access that way. And also, I want to remind you that next week we will have another workshop on Friday at 1 o'clock. It is going to be by the Mental Health Committee. We are going to be having some mental health programs this semester, which are going to be great. And we actually have a mental health committee who will be talking about who they are and what is the committee. So you'll learn more about that next Friday at 1 o'clock on the same link. So I hope you all can join us then, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you. And Ms. Jones did put her phone number in the chat. 2712 is the number, so it's 831-2712 if anyone needs to reach out. Thank you all.